You guys ready for another launch? Good morning, everybody. We have another one here. Starlink Group 2-4 on Falcon 9. Going out of Vandenberg. Slick 4E at Vandenberg. Let's see. It's an early launch over there on the West Coast. Hey, Napfin, what's going on? Foggenberg. So, a little bit of stat coming off of next space flight here for the day. This is the 12th launch attempt of 2023. SpaceX's 209th mission. SpaceX's 5th mission of 2023. 5th. They've launched 5 rockets already in the month of January. Okay. And the 199th Falcon 9 mission. Fourth Falcon 9 mission of 2023. Today's flight is on booster 1075, which is a brand new booster, believe it or not. Brand new booster. Landing on, of course, I Still Love You, the West Coast recovery drone ship. This will be the 177th Falcon recovery attempt. Man, this thing's gonna look brand new. It's gonna look very strange, man. There's gonna be like no scuff marks on this thing. That new rocket smell, dude, for sure. Yeah, okay, Rocky guy. I got you. And yes, I do suck at this, dude, for what it's worth. I'm freaking terrible at this. It's ridiculous. Oh my god. Okay. I wonder if they hang little trees and use dragon capsules. Yeah. As if that is hydrogen. Sorry. What do the group and the numbers mean? I'm not sure the exact naming convention. Oh, thank you, Aqualex. Snibbles. No. Good afternoon to you, sir. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Anyway. Razzie, what's up, man? How you doing? Thanks for the tier 2 yesterday, dude. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
5 and 19 days is 1 every 3.8 days on average. Very nice, very nice. Banana time, 37-month resub. Weather guy, how you doing? Jared, how you doing? Sawyer, what's going on? So you see the truck work yesterday? Got the bed off of the truck. I don't think I have the shop cams up. Oh, I do. Nice. There you go. See what I mean? What's this going on here? What's going on over here? What's going on over here? Don't remember that happening. There we go. I blame Sirius. It's most likely probably his fault anyway. There we go. Professional streamer here. There we go. Don't worry, chat. I know you were worrying. It's saved now. Try some more. No, I'm not crying. I'm blaming you. I'm blaming you, mate. You're a right proper tosser, aren't you? The jersey was trying to escape the void. Yep. What is SpaceX magic number for 2023? Rocket guy, I think they're trying for 100. I think they're trying for 100, and I think it's possible. Jesse! Where have you been? You are back from the void, I see. Chelsea, not Hackney! They all sound the same to me. I think if you hadn't taken the bed off, the brakes would have been fine. Yeah, it did. You are right. Yeah, it's just don't see it. It's fine. Still in the void, just getting a bit vocal. Well, I mean, you don't have to be in the void. Just Yeah, take my hand. No, give me your other hand. Oh, my other hand isn't strong enough. Rocket Guy, you think it's definitely possible? The 2019 prediction said they wanted 110 flights a year starting in 2021 with 10 Falcon Heavies, but then the market happened and they also fell behind. I think they'll do it. I think they'll do it. I feel like I missed something here. What'd you miss, drummer? I installed a new stealth pickup bed on my truck. See, look at it. Isn't that cool? It's using transparent paint radar absorbent dingle arms. Okay, so we're a little ways out here from the SpaceX launch, but the back fell off. Yeah. Well, it's better than the front falling off. Yeah. Transparent aluminum. Yeah. Now we need to put some plywood wheels on it. That
Discovery, go at throttle up.
That wrong truck, but it does look like it, doesn't it? Truck design hasn't changed very much. Hey Canada, what's going on? 14-month resub. Is that bed Bluetooth or wireless? Oh, I got Bluetooth tail lights. See them over there? The Bluetooth tail lights, and we'll take the drive shaft out and we'll put a Bluetooth drive shaft in. Do you think... Okay, alright. Okay. Before the SpaceX launch happens, this is a dumb mechanical question coming from you boy. Hello. Do you think... Okay, alright. Idiotic question. I mean, and obviously there would be some energy loss here, right? But if you put an electric motor on the end of the transmission with a transmitter, and then you put another electric motor mounted on the differential, and you had the receiver on the motor on the diff, you could actually have a Bluetooth drive shaft, because Bluetooth is just high frequency communications. That's all Bluetooth is. It's just high frequency communication. So you could do that. I don't know why you would do that, but you could. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, there would be some gnarly losses. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Oh yeah, no, transmitting. So you'd have to take that mechanical work, you would have to transfer it with a generator on the back of the transmission to an electrical signal, and then transmit said electrical signal, which requires energy, right? And then you'd have to receive the electrical signal, and then you'd have to convert it back into mechanical work for the drive shaft. You would lose a lot of... Yeah, no, there'd be some energy loss there. There would be some big energy loss, but you could do it. Take it to SEMA with no drive shaft, drives it anyway. Yeah. No, just actually make a Bluetooth drive shaft. Be like, yo, Bluetooth drive shaft, dog. Bluetooth transmission is measured in milliwatts. Okay, so yeah, that's not going to work at all. What frequency would we have to transmit on to move like... Well, let's see. The truck makes 200 horsepower on a good day. So what is that, like 120 kilowatts or something like that? What frequency would we have to transmit on to wirelessly send and receive a 120 kilowatt signal? I mean, that's possible. You could do that, right? Like, that seems right.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Why have the middleman? Why not just wireless straight to the driving motor? Wireless translates pedal input straight to the motor. That's pretty much how an electric car works, but they just use a wire instead. What? Dude, what if you had an optical transfer system? An optical drive shaft? fiber optical drive shaft? Is that possible? Could you do? You can't do that. There's no way. Yeah, Alex, you would. Yeah, there would be some losses, right? There would be some nasty losses, but you could say that you have a Bluetooth drive shaft, an RCS powered drive shaft. Optical would be a 90% loss. So I pray for any critter that gets too close to the transmitter. Be like a bug zapper up in there. Yeah, we need a gravitational wave generator. We need repulsor lifts. That's right. And then the optical laser is magnified. Then it heats up a kettle that boils water that spins a turbine that powers a generator that powers the back motor. I love this idea. Add RCS to differential? Question? I don't know. Ask Randall Monroe to run the numbers. That's a really good idea. Randall would run the numbers. This is the kind of stuff that he would like. Can you actually make a Bluetooth drive shaft? Question. Can you actually make a Bluetooth drive shaft? From EJ. Yeah, Alice, it's so true. He'd be digging it. What? That'd be excellent, man. Oh, that'd be so funny. We listened to those books when we drove to... We listened to What If on the way out, and then What If 2 on the way back. Or no, we listened to What If going to my buddy's wedding. That's right. And then we listened to What If 2... on the way to Detroit. God, those books are the best. They're so funny. That makes me laugh so hard. The steak one just gets me every time, dude. I got What If 2 for Christmas. Cracking me up. Honestly, my favorite books. They're so good. They're so good. Yeah, real world Kraken tech applications. What is this? Serious? Okay, still waiting on SpaceX here. Looks like they're a little behind on the timeline. Differentials made of rubber bands. With electric motors, you could have a Bluetooth shaft. That's what I'm saying, Goalie. You could do it. You could actually do a Bluetooth drive shaft. Wind power, slowing down air. Hydropower, slowing down water. Tide power, slowing down water. Wave power, calming water down. Ocean thermal energy conversion, boiling refrigerants. Coal power, boiling water. Nuclear power, boiling water. Geothermal, boiling water. Biomass, boiling water. I'm noticing a pattern here. Water's a pretty cool guy. He doesn't afraid of anything. It all boils down to just water. Happy, let's put things in space day. What's up, Zen? How you doing? It's all steam. Always has been. It's all just water. I'm telling you, water is the best battery. People don't listen to me. Well, people do listen to me, and I'm not saying anything that nobody doesn't know. Water makes great batteries. Just saying. With great battery. You can store a ton of energy with water. What I'm saying is cars should just have a water tank. Oh, because I'm thirsty. What do you think? We're going to put that in the engine? No, that wouldn't work at all. That's weird. Why would you think that? What's bike powered? Well, see, technically, if you have a pedal bike, right? Like, technically, you could power that off anything. You could power it off crackers. You could power it off a turkey sandwich. I've never listened to you. Yeah. Fear reigns supreme as people fear reigns supreme. That's deep. Cars should just have a COPV that stores the required energy. Well, that's a hydrogen car. Still waiting on SpaceX here, interestingly enough. Did you know if you ate a nugget of uranium, it would be enough energy for the rest of your life? I mean, that makes sense. Seriously, though, What If by Randall Munroe. Go read them. Really, really funny. Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong. Can you get him on Amazon? Yeah, of course. Hypersonic What If is hilarious. Really, really funny. And if you get the audiobook, it's narrated by Will Wheaton. What If, How To, What If 2, amazing books. I'm waiting for the clouds to go away so I can actually see the launch and just not hear it. No. It's Jesse Vandenberg is a sensory deprivation valley or something. You can't see the rocket, but you can hear the rocket. Hey, morning, Tech. Tier 2 41 month resub. How you doing today, buddy? Yeah, it's raining ice up here in Syracuse. Yeah. Big guy upstairs really doesn't like that whole area right there. You know, from like Buffalo to Syracuse. It's just like during the winter, frick that area in particular. Like, see that area? Frick them. I agree, as a Patriots fan, you know. Frick that area. Question, would I be able to see it in New Mexico with a telescope? Quick, to the Mapmobile. So you're down here somewhere. Creeper, let's just say you're in Las Cruces, okay? Let's just say, you know, for argument's sake, you're in Las Cruces. It's possible, dude. Yeah. If it's clear enough, sure, why not? This is not a good thing. They're a little bit behind. Let's go to the Twitterers and see what we can find. I mean, that's a really great picture by Ben. I will be favoriting that. That's the Boston Dynamics. Meme Lord. The For You category keeps suggesting Hodgett twins, so I got that going for me, which is nice. Okay. All right. Let's try the search function. That's good. Sure. New T0 of 743. Okay. All right. We're a little ways out. Got it. It's nothing's bad. I just missed that tweet. Yeah, why is it square? Can you not, Elon, please? What is this? Why? Stop. Please. What is this? Oh, here. All right, cool. We're in. Prepare to fast forward. Preparing to fast forward. Fast forwarding, sir. Fast forwarding. What the hell am I looking at? When does this happen in the launch? What happened to then? When? When will then be now? Oh, okay, we're caught up. You missed it. When? Just now. You're at now. Oh! Still funny. I literally fast forward every single stream to make sure we're caught up, to make sure we get good latency to the stream, right? And I make that joke every time. And it's still funny. Still funny. It's still funny. I'm not going to lie to you. You like it? All right, cool. It's never not funny. Yeah. Yeah. Old but gold. Indeed. 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 That movie still makes me laugh. Like, I can try not to laugh during Spaceballs, and I will still laugh. Every time. Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah, we got to do that pre-roll ad right now, fellas. Thank you, Rocket Guy, for reminding me. Guys, I'm going to run an ad right now, so anybody that's coming in during the launch doesn't get a pre-roll and miss the launch, because frick ads. I hate that I have to do this. Believe me, chat, this hurts me more than it hurts you. I hate that button. I hate that button so much.
Two, one.
Go for launch.
Did you see that Hulu is going History of the World Part 2 with Mel Brooks? I did see that, yes. No ad? Oh, woof. You've been saved. Oh, thank you, Banana Time.
Stage separation confirmed.
Stage separation confirmed.
Dragon separation confirmed.
Stage 1 is transonic. Landing legs have deployed.
You're looking at a live shot of fog here at Slick 4, Vandenberg. Ready? 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 Ready?
Good morning, everyone.
Shiva.
My name is Shiva, and I'm a space operations engineer
Oh,
here
that's
at
not bad.
SpaceX, and I'll
That's
be your
not bad
host
at all.
for today's Starlink mission.
I can actually
This
see
marks
it.
SpaceX's 5th launch of the year, our 204th of all time, and our first for the year from Vandenberg Air Force Base, which you can see on your screen.
That's not bad at all.
In some
guys.
exciting Starlink news this week, Thor Industries announced it will integrate flat, high-performance Starlinks, which provide high-speed, low-latency internet while in motion into several of its RV brands across the United States this year.
Oh, damn.
Carnival also announced it's implementing Starlink to provide connectivity to crew and guests. Their fleet rollouts began last month when Carnival Cruise Line and AIDA cruise ships, and the company plans to expand Starlink to several of its other brands as well. So the next time you take a Carnival cruise or cruise around in an RV, you might be getting your internet from Starlink. Now, the weather and range are both green for today's launch attempt.
Doesn't look too bad.
We're proceeding with a T0 of 7:43 a.m. Pacific time. We're tracking no issues with the vehicles or the spacecraft, and we're just about 4.5 minutes to go for liftoff. We're standing by for the transporter erector to retract away from the vehicle.
Yeah,
And
watch
the
the
first
arms
step
right
of
there.
that we will see is the clamp arms opening around the top of the second stage, right below the fairing. You can see they've begun to open around the second stage in preparation for the transporter erector or the strongback to recline.
So, everybody, you want a little bit of scale here? I always like Vandenberg's transporter erector because it has a ladder right there. See the ladder? That's how you can tell how big this thing is. And Falcon 9 is a small rocket, which is kind of weird.
That truss structure you see next to the vehicle.
It's small compared to Starship. Let's put it like that.
Electrical
But
power
also,
to the vehicle in
ladder.
preparation for
Thing's
launch.
friggin' huge.
It retracts away ahead of launch to clear the way for Falcon 9's ascent.
I don't know, Tomas. Maybe. Okay. So, in case you guys are wondering what everything is, that's the fairing HVAC line. Got to keep the payload cool. You got to remember that satellite's designed to operate in the vacuum. It doesn't really work too well down here, so they have to keep positive pressure in that fairing for foreign object.
Stage
debris.
1 lock
So
load complete.
Stage 1 lock load is complete. It's for FOD, and also to make sure that the satellites inside don't overheat,
The first
because
stage.
they will.
And at this point, we are fully loaded with both
Yeah.
RP1
See
fuel
it do
and
that?
liquid oxygen
You think that just
oxidizer
happens
on
in
the first
Kerbal?
stage. We're
Oh,
going to
no.
hear a similar
They
call
move
out
around.
on the
They
second
do.
stage shortly
They
for
bend and
stage 2
flex a
lock
little
load
bit.
complete.
Gotta do that morning stretch, you know? Yeah, they move, guys. You'd be surprised. These things really are pretty dang. They're not as strong as they make out to be. Like they're pretty.
We will be attempting to recover
They
our
are.
first
They
stage
wobble
today
around
after
just like the
launch.
ones in
We're
Kerbal,
looking at a
which is
live
kind of
view
funny.
now of our drone ship,
Yeah, it looks so bizarre.
which is stationed off the coast of Baja California
Ooh,
to catch our booster
little
when
bit
it
of
makes
chop
its way
out
back
there.
home.
beautiful sunrise on the Pacific, though. So, right there, you have your stage 2 fuel line and your stage 2 LOX line. That's what those two right there are. And then, I'm not 100% sure what that one is for. I think that is the interstage HVAC. If I
Should
have,
hear a
if I
call
have to
out
guess.
shortly here for liquid oxygen loading complete on the second stage.
Stage 2, LOX load complete.
I always
There
get
it
asked
is.
about the ratchet straps here.
And just
What is
taking a
that?
look
It's
at
a
this
fairing
rocket,
cradle.
you may have noticed that it is lacking soot. That's because the first stage is brand new for today's mission, flying for its first time.
Purging out the LOX lines
We
there.
will be attempting to recover it on the drone ship we saw earlier, and that reusability
brand
is
new
what allows
stage.
SpaceX
Looks
to
very
refly
weird.
the most expensive parts of the vehicle and reduce the cost of access to space. Coming up, the next major milestone will be Falcon 9
Sunrise over the
transition to
Pacific.
startup.
If you're far enough east, wait, west?
Falcon 9 is in startup.
I'm kidding. All right. Anyway,
That Falcon 9 is on internal power, and its flight computers have taken control of the rest of the launch countdown.
okay. Inside of 50.
LD is go for launch.
Launch director reports go. She's still wobbling
And there,
a
the
little
launch
bit. Look at
director
that.
has given their final go to proceed for today's launch attempt. So we're going to listen and watch as Falcon 9 takes our 51 Starlink satellites to space.
So that big vent
T-minus
that you
30 seconds.
the big vent that you saw come out of the transporter erector right there was them getting all the liquid oxygen out of the lines that go to the second stage. You don't need fuel inside of this when you go to launch. You need fuel inside
15
of this.
seconds.
That's kind of important.
T-minus 10, 9,
Okay, sound
8,
suppressor should go right around
7,
now.
6, 5,
There we go.
4, 3,
Green
2,
flash.
1. Engines full power. And liftoff.
Flying 2
Starlink
launches in 2
2.4.
days. Here we go.
Go Falcon, go Starlink.
Starlink 2.4 is in the air out of Edinburgh.
Vehicles pitching
I mean,
downrange.
that separation looked perfect.
Stage 1 propulsion
I
is
see
nominal.
nothing wrong there. Oh, very nice. Into the marine layer. And watch. It'll pop out of the clouds. There we go. And you'll notice... oh,
We're at T plus
there's the little
30
program.
seconds, successful liftoff of Falcon 9 from Space Launch
Foggers.
Complex 4 East at Vandenberg
Nodders.
at 7:43 a.m. Pacific time. We had some fantastic views from the ground, and now we're looking at a great view
Nominal power
from
and
the
telemetry.
first stage's onboard camera as we pop through the cloud layer.
You'll see here that the clouds, for whatever reason, they're just in the Lompoc Valley, which is very, very strange. Like, it's just that one area, like
Vehicle
around.
is supersonic.
See,
Now we're
it's
traveling
just that one
faster
area
than
that
the
just
speed of
clouds
sound.
just right there in Lompoc.
Max Q.
And there
Maximum
we are
dynamic
through
pressure?
the point of maximum aerodynamic pressure. That's the highest stresses that we'll feel during the flight.
I wonder if we could see all the snowpack that's up there.
Now, we are about 1 minute away from several events back to back. The first
You know
of
what? I
those
never
will
thought
be
of that,
MECO,
Sonia.
that's a
a
main
good
engine
point.
cutoff,
Engine chill has started.
Okay, second
followed
stage
by
thermal
a stage
conditioning.
separation, and then SES-1 and fairing separation.
Okay, so
But
basically,
MECO is where we shut down all 9 of the Merlin engines in preparation for separating the stages at stage SEP. And then at second engine start number 1, we'll ignite the Merlin vacuum engine on the second stage. Shortly after that, we will separate the
Good
fairing
shot, man.
halves and return
Damn
them
it.
to planet Earth while the second stage continues
never
with
gonna-
our
never gonna
Starlink
get a word in edgewise
satellites
here.
to space.
see if I
Those
start
events
talking.
back
See?
to back.
See?
MECO,
See?
Stage separation, second engine start number 1, followed by fairing separation.
Okay, they straightened out to prograde for
Discovery,
MECO
go
right
and
there.
throttle up.
Stand by for the call for main engine cutoff and stage separation.
Stage separation confirmed.
There it is. Fuel safe. What's going on?
MVAC ignition.
Ignition, stiffener ring separation.
Go at throttle up.
Fairing. That was close.
Fairing separation confirmed.
They all sound so bored.
And with that, we had successful MECO stage separation.
There's the
You
fairing.
can see the Merlin vacuum is
Ooh.
ignited, and even saw the
The
fairing half
mileage
there
conditioning
in the shot.
tour.
We're looking at
See
a
it?
live view right now. On the left-hand side of your screen
Oh.
is Falcon 9's first stage. We've deployed the grid fins in preparation for re-entry. On the right-hand side of your screen is Falcon
Look.
9's second stage. That's a shot of the Merlin vacuum engine.
The tape came off.
Now, those two fairing halves, we will be attempting to recover them once they come back to planet Earth and use them again on a future
I'm not
mission.
going to say that that's not a big deal, Banana Time, but it's definitely something that you should noted. They definitely see that. There's no way they don't. So, what is this? What is this space blanket stuff that's covered? It's covering the turbine machinery on the second stage. What is it? Well, it's a space blanket that's covering the turbine
First
machinery,
stage
so it
has
doesn't get
deployed
too
its
hot in
grid
the sun.
fins. You can see two of them on your screen.
Yeah,
Those, periodic bursts of white
that's there
gas
to
you're
make
seeing
sure that the
from
sun
the
doesn't
execute
cook
control
the
system.
engine. That
We're
absolutely will
reorienting the
happen.
first stage to get the engines
You're going to get better
pointed down
performance
for
if you
its major
insulate
milestone, which will
if you
be
insulate the
entry.
turbine machinery. So basically the fuel pumps on the motor. Yeah, it's a space blanket, guys. It's literally space
Call
blanket.
out, that means that both
Fun fact, back in the early days of SpaceX, they needed better thermal insulation on their rocket engines. So on the Kestrel engines on Falcon 1, they literally duct taped trash bags to the outside of the turbine machinery. Seriously, they went down to Home Depot and duct taped some trash bags to it. Yeah, true story. So that could give you some off-nominal heating, but I mean, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. Your performance might be slightly impeded on the second stage, but
the second stage, which is
Starlink
about
mission,
a
not that big of a
couple
deal.
minutes into its burn.
It's not like
This
they're
burn
asking a
lasting
lot out of the
until
second stage for this
about
mission, you know?
T plus 8 minutes and 40 seconds. It's carrying our Starlink satellites to
Yeah,
orbit.
that's not ice
Today's Starlink
sieging.
mission.
What those things are chunks of solid oxygen.
Overall, on our fifth
Those are
mission.
left over from from the thermal conditioning on the motor. That's what that is. So those lines, see the lines in the first stage right there? Those lines that are wobbling around, those are vent lines for the second stage. When they thermally condition the second stage, they start pumping liquid oxygen in it before the fuel pumps turn on, basically priming the motor and getting it down to operating temperature. Think of how a car has to get right into operating temperature, and you don't want it too hot, you don't want it too cold, right? Same exact thing for a rocket motor. So what they do is they start pumping those propellants in, and then when the stage separates, if you watch those lines, they go tss, they depressurize during staging. And what happens is that the liquid oxygen that's in the lines from priming the motor, because it has to go somewhere. You don't want to pump it into the combustion chamber, so they pump it out vent lines, right? You don't want to get that basically depresses the line and it shoots a little bit out. And when that liquid oxygen hits the vacuum, it immediately goes from liquid to gas and then back to solid and then into the vacuum, because you get an insane temperature drop at the nozzle of the vent line. And the chunks get stuck on that manifold right there. Oh, bye-bye. That one didn't get stuck. That one got toasted. Pretty bad, actually. Bounced off the nozzle. That's normal. That happens. So they get stuck on that manifold right there. What that manifold is taking the exhaust from the turbine machinery. So, supersonic retropropulsion. So the Merlin vacuum is not closed cycle, but it's not like actually, yeah, it is closed cycle. The Merlin 1D these engines here are open cycle, which means they dump the fuel pump exhaust. This thing uses the fuel pump exhaust and shoots it through the nozzle. It doesn't radiate it through the nozzle. It shoots it through the nozzle to keep the nozzle cool up in the vacuum, because it's really hard to keep engines cool up there. There's no way to convect heat off the motor. So they use a thermal. They use the exhaust gases from the turbo pumps as a thermal medium to keep the engine from melting. Supersonic retropropulsion was good, coming in out over the Pacific here. The F1 engines on the Saturn V did the same thing, Tech, and you know what the crazy thing is? Those engines rock and roll so hard that it wasn't enough. They had to cover the outside of the engine in asbestos to get them to not melt. True story. Yeah, of course, Zero. That's exactly what we're naming it. What's insane to me is how fast Stage 2 gets moving. Oh, yeah, yeah. So, Falcon 9, Durf Guy, the second stage has a lot of punch. 1,000 kilonewtons out of that Merlin vacuum engine. That's a lot for a second stage. For instance, like a Centaur stage for like on Atlas 5, that makes 100 kilonewtons of thrust. This thing makes 1,000. It is very over-engineered. It has a lot of TWR, but that's great for low Earth orbit missions. It's great for Starlink missions. Okay, landing leg deploy.
Okay.
Easy. First
Stage
landing.
1 landing confirmed.
First landing for 1075.
Successful landing
Oh, she's
of
rocking
Falcon
around a
9's
little
first
bit.
stage. You also heard a call out there for MVAC shutdown.
Looks good.
Now, this landing marks our 166th
Look at it,
overall
landed in
landing
some
of an
chop.
orbital class rocket that includes both Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy
Nominal
missions.
orbit insertion.
Yeah.
With that call out from the guidance team, the second
Yeah, you need
stage
to get
is
the
in the
octograbber
nominal
out there
or
like now.
intended
That thing's
orbit.
going to move around.
The second stage is carrying our 51
It's, of course, I
Starlink
still love you,
satellites
Sebby.
into low Earth orbit. And with that, we are going to bring our webcast coverage to a close for today.
Wow. They're like,
Now, if you're interested in following along with our mission, we're going to keep our nets live on YouTube. And of course, you can check out our social media platforms for confirmation of Starlink deploy. Thank you for tuning in today, and we'll see you for another launch soon.
they turned on the fire. They turned on the fire suppressors there. You see that? Where's Jessie? Jessie's right there in chat. No, it's a different Jessie. But Jessie's right there. She's right there. Excuse me. I love how boring standard SpaceX have made launches and landings. It's awesome. They don't even have the cameras up. It's just Shiva commentating. Bellum, this usually does happen. So, couple of things, guys. When the rocket comes in, when the rocket comes in on the drone ship, if you look, the deck of the drone ship is pretty wet. And what happens is you're going to get a nice white cloud when the thing comes in because it basically evaporates all the water off the deck. You see how, see? They spray down the deck of the drone ship on purpose. Because believe it or not, it's the same reason why that manifold is there. They spray down the deck of the drone ship so because of all the energy that's being put out from that rocket engine. The rocket engine is shooting gases out the back, right? But a lot of that energy is coming out as heat too. And that heat needs to go somewhere. This is why if you shoot rocket engines at like metal, it'll melt the metal pretty fast. You do not want to melt the drone ship. A hole in this is probably not going to end well for anybody. We've seen that happen before. SES-9 went through the drone ship and came out the other side. Fun fact. That was a long time ago, though. But you see, they spray down the deck with water. So watch, when it comes to land, it'll evaporate that water immediately. That's what all that steam is right there. And that, because the engine's only there for a second, it's only lit for a second right before it lands, it evapped all that water off, and it doesn't damage the drone ship as much. See? You could see quite literally that there was a huge puddle right here, and it's gone. But they hit the fire suppressor back on it again. So what does happen from time to time is some extra propellants do get locked up. Not locked up. You do get some residual propellants inside of the engines, and those gases, you can kind of see it, that are coming out the bottom there are them purging out the engines. They're hitting the engines with helium there. They're putting helium through them to get all those propellants out, and those propellants do end up spraying on puking all over the drone ship. And that's why they spray the fire suppressor. because mixed oxidizer and fuel underneath your landed rocket is not a good thing. So, yeah, they did spray. That was fire suppressant. That I don't think that was just water, because if you look how it stains the deck of the drone ship. See what I'm talking about right there? Yeah, that could be a triple F or something. See what I'm talking about? It might just be the reflection off the sun right there. But that could be fire suppressant. So if it puked out a little bit more than what they were expecting, they'll hit it with fire suppressant. I'm pretty sure that's how this works, but who knows? They use Octograbber S. You could see Octograbber's garage is right behind Falcon 9. Mm-hmm. Dude, that thing has saved a lot of Falcon 9s, because even rough, that's not rough seas, dude, right? Like, this is not too bad. If we back it up a little bit, it's not too bad. These are relatively calm waters here, but you see how much that drone ship is. That's enough to move the booster around. It will slide. I've never seen footage of that thing working, Bellum, to be honest. Like, especially if a Falcon 9 has a crush core, that gets compacted. Basically, the legs in Falcon 9 have a crumple zone in them. And I know most of you guys know this, but if one of the crumple zones is impacted, right? And you have rough waters, the whole thing does this. Look. Dude. That's why they put Octograbber there. That was Tycom 8, I remember that. Yeah, dude, that's a lot of mass moving around on the deck. And believe it or not, guys, that's how they lost the Falcon Heavy center core. Octograbber couldn't get it in time, and it slid and fell off the side. The one Falcon Heavy center core from like Arabsat 6A or something, the one that actually landed, it tipped over off the drone ship, just like that. That one ran out of fuel. I remember watching that. And I remember the only frame we got from that launch when we watched it live was that frame right there. And everyone's like, oh, it landed. See, that looks good. I'm like, that doesn't look good at all. All right, I'm going to stop showing this because people will click on the stream and think that the thing exploded. And then I get accused of clickbaiting. Not the first time that's happened. Did you see the ABL stuff? Yeah. Yeah. An electrical short, from what I can tell. I mean, I noticed the video of them launching it the other day. Aqualex, they showed the shot, and dude, I called that thing rolling. It tilted a little bit off the pad, but whatever, that's fine. That happens. You're not gonna get a clean. Sometimes you don't get a full clean separation. Like one of the clamps goes like a fraction of a second before, and that'll give you a little bit of a roll. That's fine. The system can compensate for it, but it looks like the cover down at the bottom. The cover down at the bottom was burnt, from what I can tell. But once again, time to wake up. Once again, it's hard to say. Yeah, 2 degrees is nothing. Yeah, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal because rockets are in a very there's a very unstable period, you know, right when the rocket takes off, and right when they land. So it's a very unstable period. Like, I could show you it right here. So if you watch right when this thing comes in, when its speed goes below, I don't know, 120 kilometers an hour, the grid fins basically just lock because they're not doing anything. The hypersonic control surfaces don't work. In fact, no control surfaces work when you get below a certain speed, right? See, they'll lock. See, right at 120 kilometers an hour, they locked into position. The reason why is because they're not doing anything. They literally don't do anything. From here on out, to get that rocket down onto that drone ship, Falcon 9 is using thrust vector control, so the gimbal on the center engine, the E9 engine, so that's the one up in the center of Falcon 9, and they're using the ACS. These don't do anything. And this goes for when rockets take off too. There's a period of aerodynamic instability where you are solely relying on the thrust of the rocket to go up. This is why, like, model rockets, for instance, and Aqualex, I know you know this stuff, this is just for everybody else. This is why, like, model rockets are on a rail. So, to basically guide that thing while it's aerodynamically unstable. See, right there, and once again, it's to the point where you wouldn't notice if you watched SpaceX. Like, you don't even realize it. But this period right here, very aerodynamically unstable. Basically, your control surfaces do nothing. And it's the same thing in KSP. You know, if you can move your control surfaces all around. If they don't have airspeed over them, they're not going to do anything. So, you know, like a 2-degree roll, Rocket Guy's right. A 2-degree roll coming off the pad for ABL is nothing. That's just aerodynamic instability, and the system can compensate for it. It's because that's inevitable. Unless you want to launch it on a big rail that's like 20 stories tall. Screw that. Why don't they try to fixate the gear once they land it? Is it too dangerous to wait a couple kilometers away and minutes after landing to try and board the recovery boat and tie up the rocket? That's what Octograbber does, Zabur, man. Yeah, Octograbber does that. It's a robot that goes and grabs the hold down points on the vehicle. It grabs Falcon's hold down points, and then it basically plants itself onto the drone ship. Here. And the reason why they do that, dude, is because, do you want to go near a rocket, an unsafe rocket? I don't want to go near an unsafe rocket, dude. That's not a good idea. Don't go near it. Don't go near it unless those tanks are fully inerted. That's a really, really bad decision. I mean, don't get me wrong. You probably get near it, and it's probably not that big of a deal, but I wouldn't do that. Here. So, they have this thing. This is Octograbber. If you notice, it's a big steel plate. Right? Big steel plate, but it has tank treads on it. It has treads on it. I don't know. Those look like treads from a skid steer or something. SpaceX probably parted out a skid steer to make this thing work because that's what they do. Right? So, the cool thing about those is that the treads are on screw jacks right there. See them? They're on screw jacks. Or actually, those look like bottle jacks. It is. It's a freaking bottle jack. Unbelievable. Anyway, the treads can actually retract up. Think like landing gear on an airplane. They retract up. You see right there. And the thing plants itself into the ground. Or onto the deck of the drone ship. That's the power cord over there. Which is funny because it has a bunch of water wings on it. So it can roll around on the deck of the drone ship when Octograbber's moving. This thing autonomously goes and drives underneath Falcon 9. It uses the tank treads to orient itself, and then it has grabber arms, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And those grabber arms pick up on Falcon's hold down points, and they grab them, and then the tank treads retract, and it pulls the booster down into the ground, so it doesn't move. This thing basically plants it right to the deck of the ship. No, Aqualex. I don't want to be near a rocket unless the tanks are either fully fueled or not fueled at all. I don't want anywhere in between. Anywhere in between is dangerous. You never know, dude. I mean, like I said, Zaberman, like, think about this, dude. The rocket pukes out extra fuel and oxidizer all over the deck of the drone ship. You know? And those fumes, those atomized fumes are everywhere. You say you walk on the drone ship and your cell phone goes off. That's enough to ignite it. If it's on the right frequency. Definitely could happen. You know, maybe there was a rug on the ship that you boarded off of, so you're statically charged. You discharge on the deck, it blows the whole rocket up. Dude, RP-1 and oxidizer, when they're atomized, are super flammable. Like, super flammable. Not like you need a spark plug to make it go off. Like, heat is enough to make it explode. It'll auto-combust, which is pretty nuts. Yeah, don't smoke. Yeah, you run with a cigarette, you go near the rock, the whole thing will blow up. It's more flammable than gasoline. Like, way more flammable. Well, gasoline fumes, but you get the idea. All it does is lower the center of mass. Yep. Yeah, Jim. Look, I mean, look at that thing. It's got some beef to it. They made it out of that's iron. These are iron weights on the sides here. I'm pretty dang sure. Well, actually, it's probably steel. It's probably some really hard steel. But look, it's riveted. You see that? Very riveting. I think these might be iron plates because they're all riveted on. The fact that everything is riveted on here indicates iron, which is heavy. And if it's cast iron plates, those are extremely heavy. Will Blue make an octograbber for New Glenn? Yeah, probably. You couldn't even fart near it. You can probably fart. That's probably not a problem. Just don't try to light your fart on fire because, yeah, you'll... Anyway. If you would just want to see the scale of this thing, look at the dude standing on it. I don't know if you guys saw that. It's big. Octograbber's huge. It's the size of a tank. Yeah, no problem, Zabur. So yeah, that's why. Because what they were doing back in the day before Octograbber came around, and now don't get me wrong, Octograbber is very much necessity is the mother of invention. What they would do back in the day is get some airplane jacks and put them underneath Falcon and lift it up off of the hold down points and then basically chain down the airplane jacks. That's how they used to do it. And they were finding that by the time the rocket was fully purged and safed out, right? That would take a couple hours. And in those couple of hours, the thing frickin' falls off the drone ship. So SpaceX said, screw this. We don't have enough time for this. There's not enough time. Like, you have to get the booster safe. You have to make sure that all the propellants, all the residual is out of it, and all the residual is off the deck of the drone ship. And it has a hitch. And it's got a pool table, too. That's a heck of a trailer hitch right there. I thought it was a model until you mentioned that person. No. So there's a garage on every drone ship. Here, let's see if we can see it. There's a little garage here. It's it's behind the grid fin. Really hard to see. It's right there. So it kind of looks like there's just a plate right here, and then there's a bunch of containers behind it. But those are on top. Those are on top of a small, like, letterbox. It's like a small garage. So it looks like the door looks like a little letterbox opener. It's not little. It's literally the size of like a 2-car garage door. But it's very long and very skinny. And when they show the shot of the rocket on the side, I can show you. If you look on this side of the drone ship, everything is raised up because Octograbber's garage is sitting there. Actually, that might be the wrong side. There's pneumatics. See right there, the pneumatic systems for purging the booster out. They got to hook them up, but it might be over here. It might be on the other side. There it is. See that? See the garage door? The door is down here, and it's a little letterbox, and the thing will come out and grab the booster and hold it into the ground. That hitch is a camera for the computer vision system, most likely. Ah, that makes sense. Yeah, it's autonomous, Hip. It does it automatically. Yeah. Once the drone ship detects that Falcon is there, it flips the Octograbber on and it goes and secures the booster. You don't need any people because you don't want to get near it. I wouldn't get near a rocket when it has fuel in it. The only time you get near a rocket when it has fuel in it is when it's fully fueled or on top of it. Rockets are very dangerous when they don't... Oh, yeah, there we go. Thanks, Mutter. Rockets are super dangerous when they're not, when they have like half of a fuel tank. Yeah, see? Little letterbox right there. See? Just drives out. Yeah, that definitely is a camera rocket guy. You're absolutely right. There's one over there, too, for X and Y. I'll bet you that one is spying the hold down points. Hang on, let me take a look over here. So we have one there, one there. Yeah, that's it. X and Y. Okay, that makes sense. I say super too much and I'm blaming EJ. That's fine. What's my purpose? You grab boosters. Oh my god. It's a big Roomba, yeah. Mm-hmm. They have 3 of them, drummer. Yeah, see, there's its little garage. That thing opens up and it drives out and goes underneath the thing. Yeah, these older style drone ships before shortfall at Gravitas. I mean, keep in mind this is a really old picture of this because of they changed the azimuth thrusters on the drone ship to give it more power. So these are just TEUs right there. They're shipping containers, but those have diesel generators in them. You can tell because of the exhaust pipes in the radiator. But they put the engine inside of a TEU, inside of a shipping container, so it doesn't get wrecked from the salty ocean. I mean, look at how rusty these containers are. Yeah, little. Yeah, it's freaking huge. Look at it. Yeah, look at it next to the telehandler. Yeah, and the azimuth thrusters. Dude, the new azimuth thrusters are gigantic. And I say new, they're a couple years old at this point. Also, 2 cameras for stereo optics, which is how our eyes work. You need 2 cameras to judge distance. Yeah. What do you think? You think that thing is using LiDAR or something? Actually, Rocket Guy, I wouldn't be surprised if Octograbber is using some, like, mangled form of autopilot. I bet you it does. I bet you it uses some completely gutted version of Tesla's autopilot. I wouldn't be surprised. Are they anchoring when the booster is landed? No, you can't anchor. There's no place to anchor. The bottom of the ocean is a couple miles that way where this thing lands. Anyway, good launch. That was awesome. Yeah, see, it launches out of Slick 4. Right there. That's where it popped out of. Oh, look, there is literally a Falcon 9. What's that logo? When was this updated? 131.22. So this is from a year ago. Random FYI, my puppy keeps trying to lick your face. Oh. No. No, no, no. Down. Down. Hold on. I love how that auto-populates list of Falcon 9 launches. It's pretty bad. Yeah, L87. Circular patch. That's not a circle. That's not a circle. Huh. Huh? That's the only one that went out of Vandenberg at this time last year, so it's got to be that one. It's got to be L87. Here. What date should I mark on my calendar? Any big SpaceX events? Rocket launches are like the weather's a burr, man. You kind of know when it's going to be, but you won't really know when it's going to be until you get about a week out. So my best advice is to go to rocketlaunch.live or nextspaceflight.com and just watch that. That's what I do. Does every Starlink launch have a patch? Dude, Starlink launches do not have patches. Yes, they gave up doing that a long time ago. There's too many. There's too many. The ones, yeah. The Falcon 9, the SpaceX launches that are like up and coming, the big high profile ones that are soon are obviously Starship's orbital flight test. That's the big one. That's the big one, and Crew 6 is coming up, so we got a Crew Dragon launch in February. Yeah, there's anything else, guys? There's not much else. There's just a lot of customer launches. Hey, Alucard, what's going on? Yeah, there's Polaris Dawn. Yeah, that's another one, but that's a little ways out. ETS2 is going on. What's going on at your end? Rocket launches. So, fellas, if you guys wanted to go work on the truck, if we went and worked on the truck right now, we'd be doing it for a couple of hours. I think we should play Kerbal. Let's jump into KSP.
Discovery,
We gotta
go
get to
throttle
work.
up.